Alright guys, welcome to another YouTube video. It's been a while, I know. I'm gonna try to upload more. I'm sorry. So today is February 8th and the Nintendo Direct just happened. A lot of bangers were announced. Splatoon DLC looking crisp as hell. I'm excited about that. Metroid Prime getting a remaster, super excited about that. And then Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was showed off. You know, I was excited. I thought the game looked great. I thought the footage looked awesome. But then there was one thing that grinded my gears, and it was the $70 price tag that I see at the Nintendo store or in the Nintendo online eShop. I see that it's for $70 there. I don't know why it's that price, but I'm gonna be honest, I got an issue with it. I remember playing Breath of the Wild, the first one, and I thought it was great. I thought it was a great game, don't get me wrong. There were many empty open areas with nothing really there, but realistically for what the game was, I feel like it was very revolutionary because many other games decided to take inspiration from that game style and then make their own versions of games. Like Genshin Impact, for example. Let's keep it a stack. Breath of the Wild walked so Genshin Impact could run, but that's besides the point. Right now, we're also talking about Breath of the Wild did have a lot of issues when it came to frame rate. And that was usually when you were in environments like forests, or you were like in areas where there were multiple people there, or there were multiple monsters there and multiple trees. The game would have like a shit ton of frame rate issues. Obviously, it didn't happen all the time, but it always happened in locations that are like heavily clustered with stuff, right? Understandable. The Nintendo Switch's hardware is not the greatest. It's very old. It was made in 2017, understandably enough. Lots of old architecture there, and then you also got to take into consideration that the Nintendo Switch is a hybrid console. It's a home console, and it's also a handheld console. It is what it is. But the thing that grinds my gears is that you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that Tears of the Kingdom is not gonna have frame rate dips. When I was looking at that trailer, there was shit in the sky. They looked like there was islands in the sky full of shit, and there was a bunch of shit on the ground. You saw how big that was? How is this gonna run on the Switch? And when I was seeing that trailer, I was like, there's no way in hell that this shit is gonna run at a solid 30 frames per second on the Switch. But then, while I was thinking that, I was like, you know what? The game is probably gonna be 60 bucks. I'm probably gonna excuse the frame rate issues because it is what it is. It happened in the first game. I know that the Nintendo Switch is kind of underpowered. It is what it is. Let's keep it pushing. But then, when I went into the Nintendo store, and I saw that Tears of the Kingdom is not 60, but a whole $70. That shit low-key got me low-key, I'm lying to myself. That shit high-key got me pissed off. You telling me all these games like Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Dark Souls. I know Dark Souls is an old game, but the remasters, bro, there's just so many open world games out right now that have no frame rate issues. And now you're telling me that Tears of the Kingdom is $10 more than those games? Have you ever played Ghost of Tsushima? That shit was a fucking masterpiece. And guess what? It was $60. I saw some people on Twitter making the argument saying, oh, but the game was 5+ years in development. That's why it deserves the $70 price tag. And here's what I say to that. Bullshit. I don't care if the game was 100 years in development. If the game doesn't run at a solid 30 frames per second in a fucking forest environment, or at a solid 30 frames per second while there's a bunch of enemies and shit happening around me at the same time, it is not worth $70. I'm gonna keep it a stack. You could be a Nintendo fanboy, you could be a stan all you want. I feel like that price is not justifiable. If I spend $70 on that game, and if that game does officially fully retail at $70 upon release, that shit better be buttery smooth. I better not see any frame rate dips because that's fucking ridiculous. What gets me very upset is because remember when Scarlet and Violet released in Pokemon? For me personally, that shit was a catastrophe. That was a flop. That was embarrassing coming from a multi-billion-dollar company to release a game in that fucking condition. The thing that also upsets me is the fact that Nintendo fans would just eat anything up Nintendo related. Like Nintendo could legit release a piece of shit for $70 and people would buy it because it's a piece of shit and Nintendo's brand is on it. And it's very upsetting. Long story short, Tears of the Kingdom looks amazing. I'm hoping that the game runs beautifully. But for that $70 price tag, I better not see any fucking issues on that game, because that's ridiculous. And all I'm saying is, it's ridiculous that a lot of these games that are out right now that are fucking AAA bangers, having no frame rate issues, running at solid 60 or solid 30 frames per second, are only $60. While this game, Tears of the Kingdom, being charged $70, if that shit, like I said, it just better not have no frame rate issues. Because if it runs like Scarlet and Violet, fucking choppy as hell, I'm feeling like I'm running on slow motion or like I'm running in water. Bro, I just can't. Anyway, if you like this video, hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys in the next video or in the next live stream. You still didn't click that subscribe button. I'm looking at you.